Hello there, thank you for joining me. Today I'll be covering a nanopore sequencing and I hope this video will reach your search. I'm Sobin and you're watching Times of Biotech, so let's get started. As the name suggests, nanopore is basically a very small hole with a diameter on a nanoscale of approximately 1 nanometer. And this nanoscale nanopore are used to sequence a single molecules by passing through it. The concept of nanopore sequencing was first given by David Demer, and after the years of studies, the scientists have come up with the nanopore sequencer in 2005, and this was developed by the Oxford Nanopore Technologies. Now let's see how this nanopore works. As you can see, this nanopore, it is such a small device that it can be carried to any place and it can be sequenced. Either using this sequencer we can sequence the DNA, RNA, any kind of a sample, either in a laboratory condition and even on the field in outdoors, which was not possible using any of the sequencing technology available before. Coming back to this sequencer, the sample is loaded onto the flow cell, and as soon as the sample is loaded onto the flow cell, it starts sequencing. Now this flow cell has a nanopore protein embedded into the electrically resistant membrane made up of synthetic material. You can see this nanopore embedded into the synthetic material. Now a electric current is passed through this membrane, which resulting the flow of current only through this pore aperture. There won't be any conductance in the membrane. Before loading the sample on the flow cell, a gene library is prepared, and this library can be prepared using the nanopore sequencer kit, which is very much handy and easy to do as compared to other sequencer gene library. The mixture of DNA and the motor protein is directed towards the nanopore using the tether. Now once this complex is directed towards the nanopore, this motor protein starts its work of wrenching the double-stranded DNA into the single-stranded. Now this single-stranded DNA passes through this nanopore hole and gets sequenced. This motor protein wrenches the one base pair of DNA at a time through aperture of nanopore. While passing through the aperture of the nanopore, this sequence, the single-stranded DNA sequence encounters the combination of nucleotide called K-mer. This K-mer is located at the narrowest part of the pore barrier, creates a characteristic disruption in electric current. Now, this electric disruption or the amplification of the current is specific for each nucleotide. For example, if adenine pass through this K-mer along with the next to the K-mer and the cytosine pass, both will generate a specific different characteristic or electric current, which will be then recognized by the software. The software utilized for recording the raw data and encoding this raw data into the particular nucleotides identify the specific characteristic electric current, and according to that it encodes the DNA DNA nucleotides. For example, how whether the coming nucleotide is a adenine, cytosine, guanine, thymine, or for that matter uracil in case of RNA. Thus, by recognizing the characteristic amplification, it determines the order of nucleotide on the DNA or RNA strand. The speed of the reads can vary, and it can even be close to the 400 base pair per second. Since entire DNA strand is used to sequence, and there is no fragmentation in this technique, the loss of data or mismatching of the data is very less in case of nanopore sequencing. Well, as, as you must have known that this nanopore sequencer is a third generation sequencing. Why this sequencing is very much famous? Why it is being utilized over NGS, which was used for whole human genome sequencing? The answer is it is portable and it is very small, and it can give a real time sequencing. For example, once the as soon as the DNA sample or the any kind of a sample being loaded onto this sequencer, it will start sequencing, and at the same time it will give a output in terms of raw data which will be sensed by the software, and a sequencing will start, and which can be uploaded onto the cloud or any bioinformatic or platforms for that matter. Again, unlike any sequencers in the past, we do not have to create any fragment. We do not have to cut the DNA into the small fragments to get it sequenced. Thus, we do not need the amplification. Thus, since we are not performing all these intermediate steps, such as the fragmentation of DNA, annealing the adapter, later stages amplifying this DNA, this leads to the cost cutting, which makes this sequencing very much inexpensive. Well, this sequencer has many applications. For example, this sequencer can be used for the remote sequencing. The sequencing can be performed in the remote areas where it was not possible without this particular small pocket device. For example, during the outbreak of Ebola, in remote areas of West Africa, the blood samples from the patients were collected, and which was sequenced on site into the remote areas of those West Africa. Same same thing was carried out in case of Zika virus in the forest region of Brazil, which was very much difficult to even reach out. Whereas it can also be employed to detect and control the bacterial infection resistant to antibiotics. As we all know, the broad spectrum antibiotics do not work against the mutated strains or the evolved strains of bacteria. Now now we need to go ahead and develop a sequence or species specific antibiotics which will be very much effective against those bacteria and or the bacterial infections. The recent example is the in case of COVID-19. In COVID-19, the China have used many of the nanopore sequencers to sequence the SARS sequence and identify the SARS-CoV-2 virus in the patients in that country. Cutting the long story short, it has a various applications in microbiology, meteorology, and for that matter, even a whole genome sequencing can be done using this nanopore sequence. Thus, this leads to the future potential of the nanopore. This nanopore technology could be very much handy for a researcher who wants to utilize this sequence, wants to sequence the sample, and specifically for those people who wants to sequence the samples on site in a remote areas, in some kind of a forest, if they forest areas like Amazon jungle, anywhere you can do the sequencing literally anywhere. So it's such a nice and a handy, inexpensive technique. Well, if you like this video, please do subscribe. For upcoming videos, you have if you want me to make such excellent videos and go ahead, then please subscribe. Thank you.